Welcome back. Last month, we spoke with sports business consultant Mark Gannis and State Representative Cam Buckner, a Democrat who represents the district that houses Soldier Field. They told me what they think the Bears can do to reverse their fortunes in Springfield and get that new project done. Cam Buckner, you made no secret about the fact you don't like this bill the Bears are asking for, but will it have the votes to go in the veto session?
I don't believe so. I don't think that the Bears have done the legwork to be able to get the requisite number of votes in the House or the Senate. People have the same concerns that I've voiced publicly, and one of those concerns is that there are people across the state of Illinois who want property tax relief for their homes, for their families, but they don't get to cut to the front of the line like the Bears have insinuated they are trying to do. And so I think there are more conversations that need to be had, and hopefully we can have those conversations in public.
All right, Mark Gannis, the Bears ask in Springfield, is this something that lawmakers should go along with? Property tax certainty, essentially getting them to sort of negotiate their property tax levels with the town.
Yeah, you know, what the Bears have put on the table is actually an extraordinarily favorable deal for the state of Illinois, for Cook County, frankly, even for the city of Chicago. They will pay for the entirety of the $4 billion or so stadium. They've already paid for the land. As I understand it, they will pay more property tax than the old Arlington Heights racetrack has paid over the years. And so, you know, this is really a one-sided deal in favor of the state, in favor of the county, and in many ways in favor for the city, because the city doesn't have to put up any money, but will get a lot of the economic value associated with the new Dome Stadium in the Chicago market. That having been said, Cam's not wrong about that. You have to come and make the case. That really is one of the important things that needs to be done here. You need to go down to Springfield. You need to show your face. This is not unusual. This is a very good story the Bears have to tell. They need to go down there. George McCaskey, Kevin Warren, their team need to go down there and need to state the case publicly. They have an excellent story to tell. By comparison with other stadiums around the country, this is one of the best deals the public sector will have received anywhere in the country.
All right, but Representative Buckner, we just heard you explain why you don't think it's one of those good deals. So if Chairman McCaskey comes down there, what do you think you want to hear from him that might change your mind?
Well, I'll say this. First off, in the last 40 seconds, Mark Gannis just messaged this better than the Bears have in the last 3 years. They have had a hard time telling this story, which is part of the problem. Now, while there are some parts of what Mark said that I don't agree with, including the fact that, you know, I don't know if it's a good deal for Chicago, because Chicago's still left holding the bag on $400 million of an old Soldier Field renovation. The state property tax has to come from somewhere. It doesn't just disappear. So does that mean you tax folks more in Arlington Heights on something else? Does that mean that the state comes in to rescue Arlington Heights if the property tax levies aren't what they're supposed to be? There's some questions there. But yes, I think this requires, obviously Kevin Warren has had some conversations with the legislature, but also, once again, George McCaskey, the owner of this team, and in some of my conversations, I've reminded folks that, you know, last year, Jerry Reinsdorf found his way in his busy schedule to come down to Springfield to have a conversation. That's what we want. We want to hear from them, and we want to hear what their plan is. And if they can frame it the way that Mark framed it, maybe they'll find some people who can convert to their side.
All right. Well, if George McCaskey's listening, maybe he wants to put you on retainer here, Mark. But, you know, I mean, the argument Cam made in the Tribune is that if you're going to cut a deal on property taxes, the money's got to come from somewhere. And it means schools might not have the same level of property tax money that they would have, or other forms of government?
Well, it really is not the case. The land, Arlington Heights, Arlington Racetrack, paid property taxes for many years. So as I understand it, what the Bears would be paying is significantly higher than what Arlington Racetrack had paid for all its many years of operation. Second, as it relates to stadiums, stadiums really don't add any school children to the enrollments of local schools. They're there for the public assembly activities, not for people. People don't live in the stadiums. You don't have families living in the stadiums, so that doesn't add to it. But there are other factors, and Cam is right. They need to be brought forward. There needs to be a full discussion about the kind of infrastructure that would be needed from the state, how that would benefit the entire region and not just the Bears project out there, how it would help the development of the area, how it would help the other residents of the area, how it helps Cook County, how the stadium out in Arlington Heights can be a benefit to the city of Chicago. You know, they're talking about building a domed stadium that's going to have major national and international events. I assure you, the people coming in for those events are not going to be staying in Arlington Heights. They're going to be staying in downtown Chicago. The attraction, the appeal is Chicago, the hotels, the restaurants, the culture. And so they need to make that case and present it to Cam and his colleagues so that they can understand and hear how beneficial this all is to the state, to the county, and to the city.
And even if they make that case, Representative Buckner, you know, by the veto session, where they're going to need 3/5 majority to pass. I mean, it becomes much harder to pass a bill in the fall. You've got other things on your agenda. You've got a transit bill. You've got CPS, which we're going to hear from in a bit, asking for billions more. Are you going to have time to listen to the Bears?
Well, that's part of this conversation, right? I think it's very tough for any politician, especially during an upcoming election year, to have a conversation about cutting taxes for a professional sports franchise that is, by the way, worth $8.8 billion when we've got to fund transit to the tune of $1.5 billion, where CPS says that they need $2 billion, where we are still waiting to see what happens in Washington with the Trump administration, and if we have to make any tweaks to the budget, right? These are things that are super important to the people of Illinois. And so in order to frame this, we need to hear from them why this is so important to happen right now. I'll also say, I know that stadiums are not where kids go to school, but the Bears have said that this is going to be an economic boon for the entire area because this is an entertainment district. They're talking about hotels and restaurants and things that will add more stress on police, fire, libraries in the Arlington Heights area. That money will have to come from somewhere. This is not magic math. We got to figure out what the real numbers are.
Mark Gannis, you know, looking back, as I mentioned, Kevin Warren's been on the job for 2 years, and I went on the Score Sports Radio this afternoon saying, you know, based on my reporting over this, there have been clearly some missteps here. Do you agree with that? That perhaps this could have been handled in a different way, and the Bears could have that stadium well underway at this point?
You know, Kevin made the judgment to give the city of Chicago and Mayor Johnson a full opportunity, full good faith opportunity to be able to put together a deal that would keep the team in a new stadium within the city of Chicago. Didn't materialize. Now, the argument I would make is I would have asked for something in exchange for that good faith opportunity had I been in Kevin's shoes. I would have said, listen, Mayor, we're going to be working with you. We're going to spend the time and the money and the extra cost of not doing construction for 2 years. And that's a big cost these days. But if you can't deliver to us a stadium deal that is reasonable, we'll pay for the whole building, but you help us get the rest of it done, then you have to be supportive of us going to our second option. I would have asked for that at the front end. I think Kevin should have also. That would be a misstep in my view.
And it seems like, just like several years ago or decades ago with the renovation of Soldier Field, both sides kind of dropped the ball here a little bit. But at the end of the day, there will be some kind of deal. We know that. And Mark Gannis, State Representative Cam Buckner, thank you both for being here. And when we come back, 326 acres, $200 million, and a cloud of dust inside the massive property the Bears hope to call home.